So I know people are probably getting kind of tired of like announcement videos and like channel update videos and I'm moving in this direction or I'm restarting this thing. And I know that's kind of been like the story of this channel's life, but it's kind of evolving as I am. So this is going to be another one of those. I'm not going to quit. I'm not taking time off. I think that's, I'm not going to do that. Actually, what's more than likely going to end up happening is I'm going to be creating more content for this channel, but it is going to move in a slightly different direction. So, as everybody knows, reverse engineering or the RRE series has been my favorite series ever. It's been awesome. I've learned a ton from it. It's basically like the series that kind of really made this channel start growing. I owe a lot to the RRE kind of series and the mantra behind it and kind of the philosophy. It's created some of the best blog posts that I've written as well. That being said, it's kind of stagnated a little bit for me. Not for the channel, everybody seems to love it. But for me, it's kind of stagnated a little bit, which basically means like I'm not feeling motivated to work on it. There are a couple of reasons there. One, most of my daily work doesn't really involve C++. So I'm kind of having to do a lot of context switching to go back to learning C++, to go back to writing C++, and it's kind of making it a little bit more difficult for me to create these videos. The videos are interesting, they're fun, they're like enjoyable, and like I said, they do super well on the channel, but it's kind of taking a while for me to motivate myself and kind of get back into it because of the second reason. The second reason is I believe that writing malware is cool and a net good. I think everybody should do it if they're interested in information security. I think they should write malware to learn more about it. I think it's a really great kind of resource for you to know, how malware works from the inside out and how malware authors work from the inside out. That being said, there's kind of a questionable return on investment in terms of me putting that content out there. Yes, I am teaching people how to write certain kinds of code or how they would write certain kinds of code, but the actual ROI there is questionable. I'm not really giving back much. And I guess with everything going on in the world, and I'm going to keep that very vague, but if you open up, basically any news app right now, you'll see that things are a little bit chaotic in the United States. With everything going on in the world, it kind of is difficult for me to justify working on something that has a questionable ROI, a questionable kind of return to society. Like, what am I really doing here? So instead of working on reverse engineering, I started focusing on a couple of different ways that I could have a positive impact on society, on this community, on research and learning and things like that. And I've started doing a little bit more data research. I enjoy data research. It's a lot of fun. I get to play around with Jupyter notebooks, for my day job and for this data research. And, it prevents the context switching because I'm working in Python the entire day. And to me, there's a lot of good that one can do with data research. Whether it be writing Jupyter notebooks to study economics and finance or to study societal issues like gun violence and, inequality and things like that, there's a lot of room that a developer like me can really do a lot of good. Instead of just writing malware, instead of just writing cool stuff, I can work on stuff that's actually impactful. I also kind of feel like my contributions to the information security industry are fairly limited with the reverse engineering kind of series and a lot of the stuff that comes with it. Like what am I really doing there? Like it's fun, it's interesting, it's helping people learn about malware. But if I'm going to actually help people, maybe I should start working on things that the information security community really needs. So we're talking about like knowledge about, vulnerabilities in new malware, reverse engineering malware that is actually like out there in the world that we need to defend against, writing, detections and, even on the offensive side, doing things that whenever I produce that research, it's actually helpful to people. Reverse engineering can be helpful. I think it is helpful. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. But it's kind of questionable as to like whether or not society, we live in a society, it's questionable whether or not like there's actually a return, a benefit to that. I keep using ROI and I really don't think that's like the correct term for that. Anyways, the point being is I want to start working on some stuff that's actually helpful. So here's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to work on reverse engineering every once in a while, kind of like I have been already. and I'm going to start producing more content that is supposed to be more helpful. So we're going to be talking about vulnerabilities and exploits. We're going to be talking about malware. We're going to be talking about reverse engineering, actual malware, like real life, like this is what it does type of malware, writing detections. And I'm going to be doing a lot more data science work, like really helpful kind of anthropological data science research on this channel. So to kind of get the unpleasant part out of the way, I understand if people are going to leave the channel for that. I understand that a lot of people came to this channel because of reverse engineering, and I totally get it. Not a big deal. If you decide that, this isn't for you now, I get it. However, if you'll just kind of stick around, see what's going to end up happening with this channel, kind of like follow along with this evolution, I'm going to try to make it as worth your while as possible. I'm going to try to give you some sort of return. I'm going to try to produce more content that is actually meaningful and actually helpful for people. And I know you're going to miss reverse engineering just like I am, but I only have so many hours in the day, and I want to use those hours to actually provide some kind of meaningful impact to society or the information security community. So I guess that's really about it. Also, if you're still here around the 6.5 minute mark, if you're still here, I've launched another channel that is pretty much unrelated to this one. Basically, I started a channel that's just going to be covering like the business aspects of tech. So all things, SaaS, all things entrepreneurship, all things ethical investing, things like that. My goal is to build up a portfolio of products and companies and applications and investments that provide me the income to be completely independent from my day job in about 1.5 years. That doesn't mean that I'm going to leave my day job. That does mean that I want to make sure that when I'm in my day job, when I'm working my day job, it's not just for the money. It's because I actually want to do it. So the channel's name is HackingFIRE. I will leave a link to it down in the description. I don't have much on there right now, but that is basically going to be the place where all of my financial, economic, investments, business dev stuff is going to be right there. So if that's your bag, if that's your kind of interest, you can find it there, and you can follow my journey there as well. I think it's going to be really cool, but that's going to be completely separate from this channel, more or less. There might be some crossover, but there will be very little. So thanks so much. Thanks for kind of sticking through kind of another channel pivot. You guys take it easy. Peace.